Welcome back to Oh My Goth Fitness. Fueled by coffee and coached by code, this is Figure Prep with ChatGPT. Okay, I am looking a little rough this morning. I really need a shower. It was a hard and fast workout this morning, leg days on Fridays. I do leg days 3 times a week. And today was a doozy, but it was really good. Hit some PRs again, which was nice because I was kind of successfully hitting a streak of 0 PRs this entire week for the most part. So I think I got 5 different PRs today, which was nice. Felt like my strength was up a little bit. I had recovered from last week from the Spartan race. And speaking of that, so we did get to do the race. However, we were only able to complete about 1/3 of the obstacles, 6 out of 18, because they stopped allowing us to do the obstacles a little more than 1/3 the way through. There was lightning in the area. So unfortunately we didn't get to complete the entire thing all the way through, but next year for sure. I definitely want to train specifically for that because I was a doozy. But I finally felt fairly normal by Wednesday. I still noticed some inflammation behind my knees when I was doing squats and that sort of thing. But today that was a lot better. I feel like it had all cleared. So yeah, that was a lot of fun. Definitely want to do it again, but it was rough. It was a little rough. So my energy has been decent this week. I am noticing a little bit of a change in performance in the gym overall, but trying to keep my mood high and mindset high as well to kind of combat that and offset it. And mood has been good overall. I noticed I felt good this week as far as being able to accomplish everything and get through the workouts and, really push myself. I feel like I'm sweating more now, which is an interesting thing to note. My sleep is still really good. I don't have any issues there. And I don't, crossing my fingers, I don't expect to have any issues, but we'll see. We'll see how that goes as the weeks progress here. But as of today, we are officially 16 weeks out from my competition. And there's Nubis.
Hi, buddy. What's he doing? You going to say hello? You say hello? No? Okay.
So let's see what else. My goodness, you were just full of complaints this morning, sir. Your butt is on my stuff. Get your butt off my stuff.
Oh my goodness, what? I'm so sorry.
He's so funny. I have had that guy for coming up on 10 years, and he's amazing. I love this cat. He's so cute. Asher's great too. He's the newest kitten. And then I've got Sir Gregor, who is a stray that came up kind of one day several months ago back in November, and he just never left. So after I figured out that he basically wasn't leaving, got him checked out, got him some shots, made sure that he was good to go, and started bringing him inside because it was getting pretty cold. So he's been trying to infiltrate and bond with the other two, somewhat successfully and somewhat not. They have been caught sleeping on my bed together, but they've also been caught battling around, so cats. But I love them. They're great. So with that being said, let's go ahead and do our first part of the check-in with Coach Alfred. Hey there, Coach. Checking in. We are officially 16 weeks out from competition today. I weighed in at 152.8 this morning and averaging 23.7% body fat. My energy, mood, and sleep have been good. My hunger has been up. But what do we have for our new macros for the week, given the current progress?
Good morning, Lady McCune. Splendid progress so far. Since hunger is creeping up a bit, we'll adjust your macros to ensure steady fat loss while keeping you feeling strong. Let's aim for around 1850 calories this week, maintaining protein at 165 grams. We'll reduce fat slightly to about 57 grams and carbs to around 170 grams. This should keep you on track and help manage that hunger.
All right, thanks so much for that, and we'll be checking in with my photos next. So since technology can be flawed, let's go ahead and double check the math on his macros and make sure that we're lined up. Oh my goodness, everybody's here this morning. Look at this. What are you doing? Jeez. All right, so we have 165 protein plus 170 carb times 4 per gram, so that's 1340. And then 57 times 9 plus 1340. 1853. Okay, right on the money, basically. So let's go ahead and plug that into my macro app. This button, that button. So many buttons. Same targets. 1853. Okay, now that is plugged into my app for the week, and I've got my targets. Holy crap, guys. Okay, guess what came? I got my new posing suit. Oh my god, this purple is so pretty. And there was like all this extra stuff in the goodie bag. Now this is for the suit, but cute little socks and a cute little note. Oh my gosh, thank you guys so much. Definitely worth the wait. And you'll be seeing this in my next check-in photos.
Let's take a moment to assess these week 6 labelled 18 to 17 check-ins through the ever-watchful eye of Coach Alfred. Here's your breakdown. Progress highlights. Left week 6, right week 5. Hearing improvements noted. 1 midsection and waistline, noticeably tighter in both front and front relaxed poses. Obliques are beginning to emerge more cleanly, giving you a firmer X-frame. Improved taper from ribcage to waist, leaner and more refined than last week. 2. Shoulder to waist ratio. Your delts are standing out more cleanly, especially in your front relaxed and 3/4 turns. That slight increase in cap definition gives more structure to the top of your silhouette. 3. Posing and presence. You've tightened up the quarter turn stance significantly, especially evident in the slight flare of the lat and hip position. More confident, more elegant, and more commanding. Above 4, hamstring tie-in zone. Though still a work in progress, we're seeing a slightly tighter appearance on the back pose just beneath the glutes. The overall glute ham seam is looking smoother and beginning to show the effects of consistent fat loss. Areas still needing focus. 1. Lower glutes, hamstring definition. This region still holds a bit of subcutaneous fat, common at this stage in prep. That's the zone we'll peel back slowly over the coming 4 to 6 weeks with steady cardio and strategic macro tapering. 2. Upper back, mid-traps, lower lats. While the symmetry is improving, a stronger back double biceps pose or back lat spread, if included later, will benefit from extra attention to your mind-muscle connection and lat engagement, pose and training alike. 3. Quad sweep, front. Your quad shape is lovely, but there's room to push separation and sweep. Let's amplify your leg session slightly with controlled eccentrics and maybe a paused extension or walking lunge finish. This week's focus tip: glute lock and taper trick. During your cardio and posing sessions this week, practice actively contracting your glutes with intention. Think about pulling your glutes slightly upward and inward, almost like you're lengthening through the lower torso. It will engage the posterior chain more during posing, especially in your back pose. Encourage slightly tighter glute engagement and support posture. Prime your posing transitions to feel more controlled and refined. Coach's Corner reminder: you've entered a visually transformational phase of prep. Don't chase the scale. The real data is here, in the visual lines, shape and structure that are sharpening weekly. This week, precise execution, increased intensity. We want every rep, step and meal to be clean and deliberate. Let's keep building that masterpiece, Lady McCune. Shall we?
We shall indeed. Thank you so much, Alfred. I appreciate your time, and we'll check in with you later. All right, pretty happy with that, and I'll show you a few little training sessions from this past week. Hey there, Alfred. What are we going to do for my cardio protocol for this week?
Hello again, Lady McCune. For this week, let's bump up your cardio by another 5 minutes per session, bringing you to 40 minutes each day. This gradual increase will keep your metabolism humming along and help manage that increased hunger. Keep it steady and consistent, and you'll be right on track.
Sounds good. Thanks so much.
You're most welcome. Let's keep the momentum going, and if anything comes up, you know where to find me. Cheering you on every step of the way.
All right, well, there we go. I am doing low intensity steady state, keeping my heartbeat between like 130 and 145 beats per minute. And usually I'm doing either my stepper or my stationary bike. I do think I want to incorporate some more variety. I have a punching bag downstairs, although 40 minutes of just straight up punching the bag is going to kill me. But if I can do some rotations, or maybe I'll replace with like a HIIT session or something once a week. Just to give it a little bit of breakup of the monotony, or do it on my active rest days, something like that. But we'll see how I feel and see how my progress goes. I don't want to do too much too fast, but I do want to try and get in as good a condition, aka leanness, as I can before my show, because competitors often come in too soft instead of too lean. So trying to do what I can to be able to present my best package on stage. So we'll see. Oh my gosh, there's so much. Look at the back. Ah! 40 minutes of stairs, baby. I'm going to do some yard work now, I think, while I'm still gross, before I shower. And there's Yashu. And as promised, I did say that I would let you guys come with me for my next DEXA scan, so let's go ahead and head to that.
Yeah, you gotta take your jewelry
Yeah,
off.
so you
look
tell
like-
me what
cool.
I need to
Yeah,
do.
go ahead and line your back. I'm gonna set my hand here and light.
That's where the top of the head goes?
Yeah, we're gonna wanna make sure we get you fully in the window, and then we'll get you centered in the window. Symmetry is a big part of this test. And that's good there. Now let's get you centered. You're gonna put your hands to your side. That's great. You wanna go to your right just a little. Right there looks great, actually. Your feet look good, your arms. Can you bring your hands in just this, like that? Then I'll let you know once it's past your hands if you want to relax a little.
Okay.
Does that feel good there?
Yeah, are my feet okay?
Your feet are great, yeah.
Okay.
So I'm gonna get it started here and make sure that you're in. Yeah, it's all looking good, and then I'll let you know when it's past your head if you have any questions, so you can talk. But the machine you're laying on is called a DEXA scanner. DEXA technology is not new technology. In fact, it's well over 30 years old at this point, so it's been proven to be a safe, accurate, and effective measure for a long time. It was not, however, created for what we mostly do here at Between RX. The technology was originally created for bone mineral density measurement and not body composition measurement. But it is the same machine that you would find in a doctor's office or a medical facility. And while it's always been able to measure body composition to a certain degree, it's only been since the 2000s that we've used the technology and enhanced it to what we call advanced body composition testing. But it is by your head, so we don't have any questions.
Okay. No, good. Thank you.
Great. So what that means is we're really measuring three things at a very accurate level, down to a tenth of a pound. We're going to be measuring fat mass, lean mass, and bone mass. And in the case of body fat, it's going to tell you how much you have, where it's located, in terms of arms, legs, and trunk. But one of the more important things it's also measuring is what is called visceral fat. That's in the android region, which is at the top of your abdomen, and where most of your organs are located. And the android region has two types of fat. You have the subcutaneous fat, which is the fat that you can see, touch, and pinch on that outer layer. But it also has visceral fat, and that's the fat that's in and around your organs. And research is showing that people who have high levels of visceral fat have been shown to be more likely to have health problems such as heart disease, high blood pressure, and diabetes. So this machine is capable of identifying where your android region is, but more importantly, determining how much visceral fat you have, and then giving us a sense for the potential level of risk for those sorts of diseases. When we talk about lean tissue, that's also being measured down to the tenth of a pound, and also where it's located. And one of the more important things for lean mass that we look at is basically how strong your bones are, and you'll be comparing that to an average person with your gender and age, and give us a good indication for your bone mineral density. It's not a diagnostic test, so it's not going to say if you're osteoporosis or osteopenic, but it is going to give you just a general sense for where you are. So it is past your arms. If you want to relax your arms a little bit, you're all set. So we've got maybe 2 minutes or so to finish up. What questions do you have?
Not at the moment. I had been wanting to, and I had forgotten that this did. Well, you always hear it touted in the fitness community as like the body fat measure, but I had forgotten that it did the bone density, and I was really pleased to get that data as well last time.
Absolutely.
With the scans. I have a history of osteoporosis in my family, and yeah, I took some medication for years that could have potentially, cause problems, but as of my last scan, I was good. So,
oh, that's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is great. It's really good to see, particularly if you're fitness oriented and there's more and more data around doing things like weight bearing exercise, of course, really helps. Hearing more and more research around like jumping, kind of like those quick movements, that does seem to help as well. So it's always nice to have that measure and then periodically check to see if you're still in the right space.
Yep.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, we're at your feet now, so it'll be just a couple of more scans and then we can review your results again.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Alright, you are all set now. If you want to swing around. So what we'll do is we'll review the scan and what we have since your last visit.
Okay.
So you were here just about a month ago.
Yep.
So at that point, your body fat percentage was 27.3, so definitely moving in the right direction, down to 23.6. Awesome. So what you've done, that's basically right at 6 pounds.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's really good. That's a great number, particularly in a month.
I'll take it.
That's
take it.
awesome. And so that's your total mass. Your fat mass
Sure.
actually went down
7.2.
almost 7. Yeah, 7.2. You're right. It is 7.2.
And then,
Here's the good news story: is at the same time you've added lean mass. So doing that is really challenging to lower
body
your
recomp for the win.
yeah, body recomp. That's exactly. And then if you're looking graphically, you can see it exactly what we're talking about.
All the numbers are in the
Total
right
mass going
direction.
in the right direction, fat in the right direction, and then lean mass in that opposite
Sweet.
but correct
Oh,
positioning.
that's so exciting.
Yeah, so here's your percentages. These I
Sure.
think are less interesting.
Well, I
but-
did want to look
Yeah.
at the. Oh no, it'll be the legs.
The legs, the
individual.
symmetry is more
go ahead.
important. Yeah,
I'll
this
let
is
you
just,
go.
that's an
That's
interesting
fine.
thing, but less. Here's your visceral
Oh,
fat,
good,
which
that
is
went down
great.
too.
It did.
Heck
So
yeah.
the pounds, but we really talk about the volume, the number of cubic inches. So you're still in
Way
this
low.
great space, this ideal
Yeah.
healthy, but even better space,
Yeah,
which is
that's
great.
awesome.
Yeah, good job there.
Thank you.
This is that ratio, which is it's an interesting number, but I wouldn't do anything to drive this number.
Sure.
This is kind of an interesting number there. Here's your bone mineral density. You're still at a great place. You're at 98th percentile.
Yeah.
So really good spot. And then we'll look at this measurement down below. The graphical. We'll compare it to your last scan. And then here's the symmetry.
Okay, so my.
So you're still really in a good place. Your right arm is, so you've added the arm strength is you've added to your left arm. So it's actually,
good.
you've gotten closer.
Excellent.
This is-
I've been working on it.
All right.
doing like an extra few reps
That's
at
working.
the end. So.
Yeah, no, that's
Yeah.
absolutely working. And then your legs are good as well. Looks like you had a little bit more.
Yeah, because there was a big discrepancy last time, and
you
I
were
don't know
at
if that was a
0.6.
positioning, but now
Yeah.
0.2, that's
That's
I'm
really
okay with
really
that.
good. Yeah, you should. Yeah, it needs about 1.5 pounds before we have any typical concerns.
Sure.
Like, you should really start to focus on this. And then here is that measurement.
Oh, yeah.
Again. So we have the table, but then also the visual representation. You can see where you're starting to
Yeah,
add.
the waist is coming in
Yeah,
too.
absolutely. You can see here that you're starting to get some lean mass.
Yep,
some
yep.
additional-
That hip, that outer hip is a little
Little
less in the back of the knee too.
It is. You're
Which is
right.
nice.
Yeah, it's this thing,
It's
isn't
a
it?
weird fatty spot for me.
It's-
so
yeah.
it's just nice to see.
It is.
So that's awesome.
Yeah, so
Sweet.
you are doing whatever you're doing is working.
Okay.
And this is indicating keep doing what you're doing. As we recommend whenever you would like to come back and measure your, depending on how serious you are with your goals, if you have something very specific, about once a month is the most that we typically recommend.
Yeah.
If it's more like, I'm trying and I have a few things I'm thinking about, a 3-month to 6-month is fine. But, whatever you think, depending on how strict or how serious your goals are, then, somewhere in those spaces are helpful.
Okay, great. Yeah, that sounds great. All right, and here are my new in-body results as well. Checking on that muscle pound measurement only, and you'll see the sheet here. Today is June 6th. And again, we're looking at this number here. So I am keeping on track, losing total mass, keeping muscle up, losing body fat. Again, I believe this number is low because as we saw, my DEXA said, I think it was 23.6%. But the trends are in the right direction here as well. So I will take it. I have been tracking my waist measurement as well. I'm down about another 1/4 inch. So I'm at 27.25 there. Hips are down to 39.5, under bust is at 31.5, and those are kind of my main areas where I notice the most fat gain, so I should be noticing the fat loss there, and that is trending in the right direction. So pretty happy with that. Given that I didn't have an official scale weight drop last week, it's one of those situations where today coming in almost 2.5 pounds down. I'm off my cycle for this month, and with the cardio and everything else progress that has been being made, just got to trust that process, and I did in fact end up seeing that weight drop this week, so that was good. The pounds on the scale, again, are not the only metric. They are just a good guideline, a good suggestion, another piece of data that we can use to track overall trends. So putting that with everything else. So like, my energy, my hunger, I notice if I'm hungry, of course, that means that I am successfully in my deficit and my body's trying to adapt to that and letting me know like, hey, we're not getting enough compared to what we were before. So that tracks the waist measurement, the DEXA scan, and the in-body. I'm just using all of the data together to get a complete picture as much as I can with the resources that I have at a limited cost or free cost to me in my local area and at my house. I was scheduled for a chiro this week, but I had some overtime with work that kind of conflicted and I really needed to get that done. So that's scheduled for Monday. Excited for that. I do go every 5 to 6 weeks. I was trying to change it to every 4 for the remainder of the prep, but we'll see, how with my lifestyle and my work, how everything goes. So I do enjoy getting massages as well to help with recovery. However, I personally feel like every time I get a massage, and I don't know about you, but every time I get a massage, it's like whatever relief I got is done by day 3. So being that they are kind of pricey, I'm like, okay, well, what's even the point at this point? So I did whip out my massage gun, got it charged, got the boyfriend to, do the spots that I usually really need because I get these pinches, knots in my shoulder blades, like right along the inside of my shoulder blades mostly. And then I was foam rolling my mid back, the whole back, but specifically targeting my mid back because that's been tight and that's been pulling on my lower back, causing some aches. So as long as I'm keeping those in the rotation, I think that I can kind of skip massage and I can do these every day, multiple times a day kind of thing. So it's a lot more cost effective, time effective, and I feel like doing a little bit every day will probably help my body better long term versus just getting a once a month situation going. So we'll see how that goes, and I'll keep you posted on that if I'm getting more mobility and less overall tightness as the weeks go on here. As always, if you have any questions, be sure to leave those down below and I'll get to those in future videos. And that wraps up our end of week 5 check-in, 16 weeks out from show day today. These past 5 weeks have flown by, so I've got a few more months of that, but super excited to see where my progress lands and how Coach Alfred tweaks everything in the meantime. So until then, lift heavy, stay negative, and we'll catch you next time. Bye, guys. I was like, I hope I did not just fail my primary mission. Anyway.